I hope you find very valuable. As we move forward, we're going through all sorts of challenges, and it's important that we, try to go into it with the right mindset. I'm always talking about mindset because mindset is ultimately important, and mindset is the beginning, the point that everything starts. No matter what kind of idea, thought, a plan, it all starts with a thought, and that's up in our minds, our mindset, and that determines the outcome if we have a strong one. And then in the midst of what we're dealing with right now, it is very challenging. I must admit, I've realized, I've recognized, I understand. Sometimes some of us, we may be stir crazy. Some of us, we just get that cabin fever. We've got to get out. For others, we just need to move. And sometimes the four walls of the apartment or the condo, whatever, it's not enough space. You need to be in the midst of nature. You need to feel the wind blowing against your skin. And I get that. But today I was talking about my topic on for today is reflect and refresh. And when you're reflecting and refreshing, there's certain things you want to consider. It shouldn't be just a fleeting idea as you're reflecting. It should be something that really you give or you take serious consideration. You take the opportunity to size up yourself, size up what you're doing, and size up where it is that you want to go. Now, I'm not sure who this is for, but I can tell you it's for me. And it's for me for a number of reasons. Because of what I do and what I want to do and what I want to continue doing, I have to take the right steps. Taking the right steps consists of being honest with myself. Number one, you've got to be honest with yourself. And when I say be honest with yourself, you want to consider this. If you want to write down notes or take notes, this is something to consider. What is it that you had, past tense, or even present tense? What is it that you have, right? Like, how is that panning out for you? And how is it panning out for your clients? You have to look at the pros and cons of both. What is it that you learn from what you have, or what is it that you learn from what you had? For example, is it working for you? Is it working for your clients? Do people talk about it in a very positive way? Is there any traction? Do people want to hear more about what you're talking about? Do they want to hear more about your resources? Do they buy your resources? Are they investing in, what it is that you offer? That's what I call being open, honest, clear, and direct. If you can answer those questions openly, honestly, clearly, and directly, and not try to justify the answers in real time, then you're on to a serious analysis of, what you have or what you had. And earlier this week, I did a clip called Critical In-Depth Analysis. And I talked about how I went to a conference a couple of times. And the first time I didn't take certain parts of the conference to heart. And the second time around, I learned some valuable lessons. Well, when you're open, honest, clear, and direct, you should learn valuable lessons. And the valuable lessons that I'm talking about is knowing where you stand in the marketplace, knowing where you stand with your business model as it currently is. So as it relates to reflection, you need to think about it, and you have to think about it again thoroughly. And then you want to also consider, as you're reflecting, the various learning styles. See, everyone learns different. So when you're thinking about what you are doing or what you are currently doing, how are people that have different learning styles, how are they adapting or adopting to what it is that you're sharing? Do they get it? Are they taking notes? Are they benefiting from it? Are they growing because of it? What is your track record, basically? And your track record, it probably will vary, and it should, because no mind is exactly the same. As one of my coaches says, if two of us are the same, one of us are not needed. So you have to look at your track record and really evaluate what you have to offer and how it affects or reflects on those that are learning from you, those that are students or clients. I know for myself, I have done numerous keynotes, breakouts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've gotten numerous different types of results. Even as a coach, which I'll talk more about in another video, um, I've gotten a ton of results, but they all vary. Some are up, some are down. It's like a roller coaster. Everything varies depending on you, depending on the person. And this is the most important thing as it relates to coaching and as it relates to reflection. When you're coaching someone, depending on their learning style and their learning curve, that will determine whether or not they're able to grow at a certain pace or a certain rate. Everyone does not grow at the same rate or at the same pace. Most people, depending on what they're interested in, they will gravitate to that part, and the rest of it they leave to the side. And it varies. Some people want to know the quick, fast way. Some people want to know the deeper learning, and some people need to learn it all. So there's no way that the people that need that information will gather it and absorb it the same way each and every time. So you have to consider that as you're reflecting. That's the various learning styles that you serve. And then also you want to think about when it comes to refreshing, right? What is it that you're trying to transition from and transition to? Where are you taking people? Again, now, even if the objective initially was the same, if your results were not good and that's why you're refreshing, then you need to know that you need to upgrade or take your coaching program, your keynote, whatever it is, to another level. It needs to go from here to here, or maybe even here. That's something that you have to be comfortable with. And that's something that needs to be authentic, because people can sense when you're not authentic or when you're not really good. Again, if two of us are the same, one of us is not needed. And why do I say that again is because sometimes we want to move so fast, we're willing to copy other people and it's not authentic. And if you're copying other people and it's not authentic, those that are in your audience, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a live keynote, they will be able to detect that. Not everyone, but hopefully you don't want the decision makers to detect that. Man, of course, I get a call right now in the midst of this little mini training. I'm going to have to call you right back. I'm so sorry. I'm in the middle of a mini training. I'll call you right back. Okay, so with that being said, again, what's new? You need to know what it is new that you're offering. Now, in addition to knowing what's new, you need to know, how is it better? How is it better than the last thing you did or what you're moving away from? Now, I'll take myself for an example. I use different tools to do my business, whether it's online, whether it's in real time, different cameras, lighting, and, if it's a webinar, clickers and all that kind of stuff, my laptop, there's always some kind of technology to support your business. So you have to understand that you need to know, how is it better? But you need to know how it's better for your clients. And you also need to know, how is it better for you, the individual? Because if you're trying to force something just because there's a new widget out, that may not be a good look, because you're trying to use technology to save you or to supplement for something that you're lacking in. And people do it all the time. It's not that the intentions are bad. It's just that people can sometimes see through those intentions and they still won't learn because they will be distracted and they won't be buying into the real message or the real purpose why you're presenting your information to them. So you need to understand what's better about what it is that you're doing. Now, I believe in being clear and I believe in being simplistic. So I don't want to give you 13 bullets for you to learn from. So if I keep it simple, I'm hoping that you can bite on that. And then the next time I can share information with you that will give you more to chew on. And if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the feed. If you find that this is valuable, please make note of that, or share it on your own page, or share it with the group that you're in. I do believe in helping people. I like changing difficulty into simplicity, because to me, that's what it's all about. If you want to help somebody, you got to be willing to help someone in a manner that they can benefit from. And with that being said, this was just a mindset moment. And as I always say, you got to remember to radiate the brain and change the game. And I'll see you next time.